Hi guys, welcome to my first video on this channel. Today we're going to be learning some important phrases in Persian that will help you better express yourself. These phrases are related to time and how we explain things in relation to it. Before we get into the examples, there are some basic words here that serve as the building blocks for these time-related phrases in Persian. This is our مقدمه کوتاه, or short introduction. So as you can see here, we have before, which translates to qabl, after, which translates to bad. Then we have the two formal versions of these words, which is pish and pas. After that, we have as, which means from, in, which means this, and ke, which means that. Not that in the normal sense, but used more as a preposition. So now we have our first form, شکل اول. قبل از اینکه and بعد از اینکه. Both of these are used quite frequently in Persian. Here's the first example. مثال اول. قبل از اینکه بری یه فنجون چای با ما بخوری. Before you go, have a cup of tea with me. You can see here that I wrote us in parentheses. The reason is that we are actually saying ma, which means us in this example. In certain situations, it is common to hear people refer to themselves as ma or we in Persian. So قبل از اینکه بری, before you go, یه فنجون چای, a cup of tea, با ما بخوری. Drink with us. Moving on to the second example. مثال دوم. بعد از اینکه مدرسه رو تموم کردی میخوای چیکار کنی؟ What do you want to do after you finish school? Let's break this down. We already know that بعد از اینکه means after. The next part is مدرسه رو تموم کردی. مدرسه means school. تموم کردن means to finish. تموم کردی is the second person past tense form of this verb. Now you might be wondering, how do we get مدرسه رو from مدرسه? The ro is our object marker. In formal speech, it's pronounced ra, but in informal context, it becomes ro or o. Whenever the object marker ro comes after the vowel sound e, the vowel changes to a, as in apple. So madrese becomes madresa. مدرسه رو. بعد از اینکه مدرسه رو تموم کردی میخوای چی کار کنی؟ میخوای چی کار کنی؟ چی means what. چی کار means in this context what activity or what thing. کار literally means job, but it is used as a way to express a general activity or act that a person is carrying out. Koni is the second person subjunctive form of the verb kardan, which means to do. It is shortened from the full form, which is bokoni. بعد از اینکه مدرسه رو تموم کردی میخوای چی کار کنی؟ بعد از اینکه مدرسه رو تموم کردی میخوای چی کار کنی؟ Spoken a little faster there. After you have finished school, what do you want to do? So next we have our second form. This form is exactly the same as the first one, except you replace qabl with pish and bad with pas. These terms are usually used in more formal contexts. Here's our third example. مثال سوم. این را پیش از اینکه اینجا بیایم میدانستم. I knew this before I came here. In means this. Ra, you remember, is our object marker. Because this sentence is formal, we're saying ra instead of ro. پیش از اینکه means before. اینجا means here. بیایم means I come in the present subjunctive. It's worth noting that if this sentence were informal, it would be pronounced biyam instead of biyam. Biyam is very formal, but it's good to know those pronunciations. And last but not least, we have midanestam, which means I knew. Just like biyam, this is the formal pronunciation of the word. If we were speaking informally, we would say midunestam. This applies to the present tense as well. To say I know is midanam in the formal form. The informal form is midunam. Going back to biyam, You might be wondering why we use the present subjunctive instead of the past tense. This is one of those situations where English and Persian simply do not line up. If you want to get fluent in Persian, it will help you to try to adjust to the Persian way of thinking and not apply English grammar rules to it. Now on to the fourth example. مثال چهارم. پس از اینکه دردش کمتر شد خوابید. پس از اینکه means after. درد means pain. دردش means his, her, or its pain. Kam literally means little or not enough. Kamtar means less. Shod is the past tense form of the verb shodan. Shodan means to become. And lastly, khabid means he, she, or it slept or fell asleep. So, pas az inke, after, dardش kamtar shod, her pain lessened or decreased, khabid, she fell asleep. Now we've arrived at our third form, qablan and ba'dan. These words are used to speak about time in a more general sense. They don't always indicate the order in which events occurred. The sentences they are found in typically give far less information than the aforementioned structures. Here's our fifth example. مثال پنجم. من اینو قبلا خوندم. I read this before. This is a fairly simple sentence. Man means I. Ino means this. This is the word in, which means it, with the object marker ra transformed into o. You might be wondering why this has happened. The general rule is that if the noun preceding the object marker ends in a vowel, we will use ro. If it ends in a consonant, however, we use o. It's just a quirk of Persian that makes speaking a bit easier. Qablan, of course, means before. Khundam is the first person past tense form of the verb khundan, which means to read. The present tense form is mikhunam. Now we finally reached our final lesson. Mesal sheshon, the sixth example. میشه بعدن راجبش حرف بزنیم؟ Can we talk about this later? میشه بعدن راجبش حرف بزنیم؟ بعدن can be both later or after, but it more often lines up with the word later. میشه is a word that you will hear a lot. It's the third person present tense conjugation of the verb shodan. In this context, میشه means it is possible, or is it possible? When you add a subject and verb after it, it can be translated as can, as in, can I do this? Can you do that? Ba'dan again means later. Raje besh means about it. The structure is actually raje behesh, but the behesh becomes besh in common conversation. Raje be means about, and the esh part denotes a third person object, or it. So you have about it. Harf bezanim means we talk. It's the first person plural conjugation of harf zadan in the subjunctive form. This verb is a combination of the word harf, which can mean word or letter, as in letters of the alphabet, and the verb zadan, which means to hit. میشه بعدن راجبش حرف بزنیم? Can we talk about this later? Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe. More lessons and dialogue samples will be coming soon. Take care.